So Jen, this one looks a little more traditional. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, so I learned Polish paper cutting from a Polish woman in New Mexico in 1993. And I believe the art form in Polish is called wycinanki. And so I wanted to do kind of two pieces that harken back to the tradition of paper cutting, which is an art form that's been long-standing in Eastern European culture, at least the cutting with scissors. I cut all these things with scissors. A lot of times the traditional form use layered paper to get the effect of, either breaking paper up into halves or quadrants in order to create a design. And part of the pleasing nature of the design is the symmetry. This is a traditional form called a tree of life form, which is very common in this tradition. And I wanted to I put two pieces that are tree of life forms in that are similar to each other. And I tried to use traditional kind of motifs and stuff, but put my own little take on it. I like to play with pattern and design and put weird figures in that maybe aren't to scale with the other figures, but that's kind of common to the art form. And I really do like the way that the Tree of Life pieces turn out. It's kind of my homage to the tradition of where the art form came from.
Well, and they're so intricate. How long does it take you to cut a piece similar to this one, this Tree of Life?
Between designing and cutting, if I'm really concentrating, I will often sit for 5 and 6 hours at a time cutting. This piece took me 2 days to cut.
Wow. It's beautiful. And the consistency in the line and the shape and everything is part of what makes it so pleasing. Is that something that you've just kind of honed that ability over the many years you've been doing this?
Yeah, I look at other people's work. I always work from a drawing, so I'll draw it out first, and I erase, and I take things out and put things back until I get a design that's pleasing to my eye. And I've always been good at visualizing space, and so a lot of times if I'm designing half of the design, I can imagine how it's going to look when it's opened out. So you have to be able to visualize part of what's not there. And I, for whatever reason, seem to be good at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I notice a lot of motifs and forms and shapes that show up in different ways in different pieces. Have you developed almost a vocabulary of shapes that you kind of stick with, or is it just the tools that you're working with and the medium that kind of creates that sense?
It's both. Sometimes, it's like, I really like this, but I'm not going to be able to cut this. Can I cut this? For me, I do like to revisit motifs. I'm an artist like any other, and there are certain things that are more pleasing to my eye than other things, and so I try to find those things that I like and mix it up, create it in new ways. I always will take pieces of other work that I've done or new work that I've done and try to put it in a different context to make an overall piece that works. And I think this one does, and the other Tree of Life that I made too, I like to be a little bit quirky and a little bit kooky and kind of play with pattern and play with design. So that's what I did in this piece.